Over 100 years of serving this country. Barbados like a power company. From Christchurch to St. Lucie. Barbados like a power company. You can count on us.
Hello, welcome to this episode of Energy Talks. I'm Cassandra Crawford. Today we're going to talk about signs on poles. That continues to be a challenge for us here at Light and Power, and I'm sure you saw in recent news that the Ministry of Transport and Works has also expressed the concern about safety for sandwich board signage popping up all across our roadways. We want to remind you that this is a challenge for our line crew, so pay attention as Victor Callender shares.
I'm a senior engineering manager in the distribution department. I'm responsible for operations. Now, operations involves overhead lines, underground cables, SCADA for me, which is the system that controls the island basically. So if we have power outages, we can basically tell if a major line is off or not. We can do things from our substation, from different points on the line, get people back on if there's outage, some areas. So that's what I'm responsible for mainly. Probably back in the early 2000s, up to 2010 or so, we would have had signs on poles, but in recent times we've realized they've increased a lot. Everyone wants to put a sign on a pole, but there are inherent dangers for our linemen when you put signs on poles. And those dangers are, firstly, a guy likes to climb a clear pole because you have to get up the actual pole. You have to put a belt on around the pole and you move up the pole. Now, if you have obstructions anywhere, you have to climb around those obstructions. And when people fill the pole with signs, it is extremely difficult. What the lineman usually has to do, he has to usually take that sign off the pole to be able to climb the pole. Then he has to ensure that there are no nails, no staples left over when he takes off the sign. As a lineman climbs the pole, he uses spikes that go up that stick into the wood as he climbs. If you have a nail in that pole and the spike hits it, it will not go in the pole, and what happens is you will slip. So where we do have our people in safety gear, as I say, it's always a challenge. Our safety gear is designed that we do what I call a two-belt system. So we always attach to the pole, so the guy can't actually fall off the pole, but he can still slide a little ways down the pole before the system catches. And you don't want your hands to be caught on a nail sliding down or some object somebody put in a pole. So besides the wooden signs, people tend to put metal, they tend to put on brackets with screws and nails. They put cameras on our poles, which is just as much a danger as anything else. The pole is really supposed to be clear. When you get to the 20-foot mark, 18 to 20 feet, you'll find that the telecoms people tend to occupy that space. And there's a reason why we treat spaces on the pole with different vendors or clients. We also see a lot of signs from people with eggs and dog chow, especially because those are really bright signs. You see signs advertising apartments, signs to hotels and guest houses and stuff. And so it's really causing a lot of confusion. There's some poles that when you start from the bottom almost going to the pole, they're just covered in signs. And our guys do have to climb these poles at some point in time. We never know when we need to climb them because emergencies do happen. You would have seen within the last 10 years that we had a number of bucket trucks now, and we do a lot of bucket work. But a bucket only carries one person. So usually the other person assists on the pole. So that is why we still do climbing, and all poles cannot be reached by a bucket truck. You actually have to do climbing on some jobs.
At the end of the day, our only goal is to ensure that our line crew, any staff member that has to climb a pole or work around those poles, get home to their families safely. So please reconsider the next time you're thinking of posting signs on our poles. See you next time on Energy Talks.
My piece in terms of safety would be, do not put the signs on poles. Straight and plain. Don't put any nails. I know some people say it's only going to be for a short time. You advertise a fad or something, you put staples in the pole. Then you can't get the staples out of the pole. Even something like a staple will stop a spur from going in the pole. And a lineman could slip with it by the spur not going in the pole. So you don't want anything on the pole at all, other than our infrastructure and the infrastructure of telecoms and people that we authorize to go on the pole.